Hey everyone, here on the House Now 3D video series. We're discussing, today we'll be discussing kind of the hands-on training and some of the workforce events and challenges related to this new paradigm of 3D concrete printing. So, and of course I have my host Sean here with us. So Sean, hey.
Hey everybody, thanks for checking in.
Wonderful, man. Wonderful. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about, we have the machines, we have the techniques, we have all these things, but, we're making this, the whole purpose of this is for people. But then, of course, it takes people to do these things as well. So people, maybe these techniques are new and we know they're new, and it takes a new set of skills and technologies and kind of this, the amalgamation of both of those coming together for a successful project. So I want to talk about today workforce training. I want to talk about getting young folks interested. So we're talking maybe grade school or high school. And maybe that's too early is grade school, but I never think it's too early. And then of course, in the need for practical exercises and projects that any team, and we just know this from life, but also this is even really more relevant in this area, is actual teams executing projects and then doing it again and again and again and getting better and better. So let's start with the first one, Sean. Let's talk about the workforce training and some of the challenges we've seen there.
A lot of these people are breaking the eggs. They're getting a printer, self-funded, private funded, and they're going out there and they're working on projects. They're building, they're tearing things up, they're knocking them down. There's training involved with any machine you're going to get provided by the company, and you really just want to go out there and like keep printing. Let's make 9 not good and then try to perfect 10 and 11 is my viewpoint. And workforce training, like you said, there's a lack of people who are going into skilled labor in the construction field as of now. But by 3D printing technology, I think it's going to get a lot more people interested. Like, wait a minute, I've got my phone. I love technology. I'm up on like the newest, latest trends. How do we implement that into construction? Because construction is really the last field that has not been disrupted by technology. And I think, getting people trained up. One of our partners, Ronaldo Santana, is working with Liberty University, trying to get machines on site. And there's other universities around the country, and they're training people so they can be the next leaders in the field, or they can become teachers themselves. But training, I think at high school and college level it's so needed, because so many people don't know that this works until you can see it and touch it and feel it and be like, wait a minute. I can build a house this way. I can do a nice structure this way, or build a bridge, or do designs for a park, or whatever my business wants to be. You got so many people still don't even know about it. I talk to all the time.
Right.
Like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, we're involved with automated construction for 3D printing of structures. What would you say? I was like, hang
right.
on. 3D print houses with robots. So it always
like how could I say this more simply? Like, you just keep iterating on your own way of communicating and relating this to people, and it's still like hard for them to fathom what you're speaking about, what you're referring to, and what this new paradigm even is, or what it means. Let's discuss the let me add a final thought, and then we'll go on to kind of to our next topic here. And that, of course, is the challenges of so many oftentimes boomers retiring or leaving the workforce. We have a lot of older folks that were, concrete layers and carpenters and all these different things. And they're leaving the workforce, leaving a huge gaping hole in who's going to build our next, our housing. And we need to have faster, more efficient ways of creating this housing. So if, maybe it took 10 people, in the past, a year to make, 10 houses, we're trying to get that down to 5 people or 1 person being able to make, 10 houses. I mean, just it's not, the numbers aren't so important. It's just the ratio. We want that to be 1 person to create a lot more housing. So within that, let's segue right into the next topic. And of course, we all know that the youth can capture their imagination, their attention, pull them off their phone, off their iPad, off the computer, whatever they are in the virtual space, knowing that we can't live virtually, we can't live in the metaverse, we have to live in in real life, and that's going to need housing. So how can we engage, and what does that look like from that real young level, or even high school? I mean, we can leave it at high school, but either way, it's still kind of that younger cohort that we need to engage and excite about where this could go and what this could mean for them, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's so many people. They're getting ready for retirement. They've been building houses their whole lives, and a lot of times their children don't want to go into the work. They see it as dirty, dangerous, uncool. They just don't want to do it. But those skilled laborers who can do the block, who can put up the frames of the houses, who built hundreds, if not thousands, of houses, especially right now with the builder sentiment in the country and the interest rates being high, and people are very scared to pull the trigger. There's going to be less and less houses being built. So a lot of those smaller builders might go away because they can't compete, and if, they've done well enough, they're going to say, hey, let's pack it in. But if you can get some of those builders who want to continue building to implement this technology, that's something that they're going to be able to use to attract, people out of school and be like, hey, you've got your architectural engineer degree, or, you've got skills and we want to pay you for these skills, and we're going to
Right.
do it in a new cutting edge way. And here's a percentage of the company or percentage of the houses that were being built. And you're not going to be, I'm not going to say that 3D printing technology is not dirty, that it's, maybe a little bit more glamorous, but you still got to get down there at the end of the day and do the
But
thing.
there's people, we both know these people, and I think there's even elements of ourselves, Sean, that like doing real things. Like
I do.
I wouldn't say the majority of people only wants to work in a clean room, just on a laptop. Like a lot of us get deep satisfaction from creating real things. I mean, real thing could be a website, but also, that's still virtual. There's something very, very intrinsically satisfying to a lot of humans about creating something tangible that you can see and feel and touch, right?
And that's when it comes back to showing this technology to people who are in, technical and trade schools, because that's going to be the next group of individuals who pick up this torch, who want to put a company together. If they got great ideas, those are the people who can really push this technology forward. But it's about getting young folks interested, and I think that comes down to, if you've got a company, get some of these people to intern with you.
Yeah.
Get people who might not know about it, invite them over to the job site. Just like, look, if you just want to sit there and watch and ask me questions, like,
Yeah.
they get excited. A lot of these things, people want to design the house, or the architect's like, hey, I'm tired of building square houses, but this is what I do. It's like, well, maybe you want to join the 3D printing team and design something that's never been done before, and watch it being built in a way it's never been done before. You got to get people excited and engaged and, emotionally connected. Why are they doing these jobs? Are they just doing for a paycheck until they retire?
That's great. That's a great point.
If you can, get younger people to say, hey, I want to build accessible housing, or I want to, build a community where I was raised in an opportunity zone that might not have that access to that. If it's a Native American tribe, if it's for battered women, like I think this tool can really help people pick up their cause and say, people need shelter all around the world. And why are we doing this? And there's some great, young minds out there that want to solve some of these problems. So just get the word out. And talking to people like this, I think, is a great way to, have people come across information they might not know existed. So
That's awesome. So good, man. So let's take the final topic that we discussed here at the beginning, and that is the need. And I think this ties in really well to the rest of our conversation for practical application. Yes, we can theorize and talk about it and watch videos and all these different things. The best team that we've seen out there actually doing stuff, actually executing projects that we see getting better and better, is them actually doing it. I know it sounds kind of simplistic and it sounds a little stupid, but it's like, that's how this works. Talk to us about that, Sean, the things that you've seen there's a habitat project in Virginia. There's a large community going down there in Texas and some other things, even around the world. Tell us about that, the need for that. And that's the only way, at least right now, that we know how to do that.
multiple projects all around the world. I think the United States is actually a little behind. Technology or
Interesting.
implementation of the technology.
Yeah.
We've got such a large opportunity. It just comes down to get some people together, and try to figure this out. The machines work. They can build. So you've got to do the hard thing. If it's going out and interning, if it's starting your own company, if it's trying to raise, private funding for your own projects, like if there's something you want to do, especially if you can speed up the time and reduce the costs to make structure. That's a win-win.
Yeah, two companies that I think correct me if I'm misspeaking here. So Mudbots is a really cool company out of Utah, and they have a pretty extensive requirement for you to get hands-on experience. And I believe that another company out of the Netherlands, Cybe, also has some training. Talk to us about those two things, just like because these companies are very very motivated to see their customers succeed. Talk to us just a little bit about the kind of training that they require to actually get your hands on these machines, Sean.
I think that's it's the way it should be. I wouldn't give somebody the keys to an F1 Ferrari and say, hey, there's a racetrack, give it a go and see what
Yeah.
happens. Especially some people might not have been builders and they're not, 1000% confident being on a build site. Like, I don't want to give somebody a giant, 100-ton machine that could do damage or make a mistake. And these
Yeah.
companies are very vested in their company doing well, and also for the industry to push forward. So yes, it's going to take time. It's going to take practice. It's going to take multiple structures. But I feel by doing that, people have the confidence, and these houses aren't going to fall down. They're not going to look like crap. There's some great companies out there now. If you walked into a 3D printed house, if I didn't tell you, you would say, wow, this house is a beautiful new house. You really don't even have to know aesthetically. But I think it comes down to training, and companies are putting out more curriculum online all the time for learning basic information to on-hands training, to being able to show up and doing weekend workshops. And some of them are like going to universities. There's a lot of live events. Just went by, like the World of Concrete. And it's all over the world. So the more and more that people can see it, touch it, feel it, and say they want to build with it, just get out there and get printing.
I like that. Get printing, guys, folks, everyone. That is a good phrase to just leave us with here. So that's a wrap here. And again, just a high level kind of just summary of what we talked about. We talked about the workforce training, super important. Talked about getting young folks interested. That is like kind of like the foundation. None of this is going to work unless you have people, whether young or older, able to do it, able with the knowledge and the skill sets. And of course, the need for practical, as we all know, in real life. I can't talk about, playing the piano by, theorizing on it and watching a bunch of videos. I actually got to go step to the keyboard and put some time in. So until next time. Oh, Sean, go for it.
One last quick thing I just wanted to bring up.
Absolutely, man. Go for it.
Somebody was speaking about, the divergence and overlapping of virtual reality. How much you can do with virtual reality now, and in time, like, can you get people with the camera that's actually on site, but you're training, from your school area, and you've got to
right
nozzles, check the hoses. And some people, like, maybe that's the next step to get people, educated and keep them out of harm's way, because, you make it a slip or a fall or somebody gets hurt, but they're not used to construction. I really see virtual reality as being a fantastic tool in time to get people orientated in something that they've never done before. And especially with younger individuals, hey, let's go to construction site. Oh, I don't know, never been on one. Hey, you want to put on a headset and walk around? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
So it's so backwards now. It's actually crazy, but I definitely think there's going to be a lot of courses in virtual reality, from, starting machines, checking layer height, checking temperature of water, just having like all your dials kind of dialed in, and virtual reality is very, very exciting. There's one company, actually, they've got like glasses where if you're troubleshooting and you can't figure it out and they can't get to you, just because, like, I need this fixed now. Put on a set of glasses, walk me through it, and we'll do it together. So it's not just the printers, the technology, it's all the other amazing things that's coming together at the same time to push the industry forward.
Amazing, man. And with that one, folks, we will leave you. The convergence of even newer technologies like VR and other things, making the possibility of this new way of building, whether it's 3D concrete printing, modular, the other techniques merge with VR. We'll leave you that exciting tidbit. And until next time, Sean and I signing off.
Peace.